to Crash Course. Today we begin in Southeast China. Today we will talk about the revival in China.
It all started when the Han Dynasty collapsed from a problem with no unity in the country. This made the people migrate south.
When the Sui Dynasty came to power, their problem with unity decreased.
The Tang Dynasty evolved in the late 1900s, also called the Middle Kingdom. They worked with nomads to protect their country and used hegemony for regional control.
They also had the equal field system, which restricted the inheritance of land, and they built a Grand Canal, which was a key component to internal trade within the empire.
For culture, their poetry was used for civil service exams, Buddhism spread by Zhuzhang, and monasteries were destroyed where Confucianism grew.
The Tang Dynasty declined when rebellions grew within the empire. Then nomadic people attacked, and the rulers couldn't control them.
Next came the Song Dynasty in the late 11th and 13th centuries. This was created by the Liu Empire, the Xijia Empire, and the Song Empire. They weakened the military and created the scholar gentry class.
Their innovations were paper-making, books through the movable type, coal and iron industry, and printing and gunpowder. They were able to use the paper money, and they traded a lot.
Agriculture improved with better tools, new rice to grow with fast ripening skills, and water control.
The culture changed with the creation of Neo-Confucianism, which was the making of Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism, and they also had foot binding.
There are many other East Asian societies, and the first one we'll talk about is Korea. The Silla Dynasty ruled from 668 to 900 CE and was replaced by the Karo Dynasty, who ruled from 900 to 1892. During this time, the Tang army attempted to conquer Korea but couldn't. Religions were Confucianism and Buddhism, and there are no conflicts in between them.
In Vietnam, they were invaded by the Han Chinese, and internal rebellions broke out, so they adopted Chinese traditions and culture.
In Japan, the Fujiwara family ruled during the Heian era. Shintoism was also important, and its animalistic and an emphasis on nature and the spirits.
The shoguns were the military governors who ruled in place of the emperors. Japanese feudalism consisted of regional lords who had power and were supported by the samurai. Now on to the Mongols.
The Mongol Empire, founded by Genghis Khan in 1206, was the largest contiguous land empire in world history, lasting until 1368, with territories extending from Southeast Asia all the way to Eastern Europe. Khan's motive of rapid expansion was easily fulfilled with their extremely destructive military and their very brutal tactics. Their military was set up based on a step organization, similar to today's decimal system. A group of 10 made up an R-band. 10 R-band made up a Jaghun. 10 Jaghun made up a regiment of Minghan, and 10 of these make up a Tumen. Simple but effective. Soldiers were very disciplined, and the military's effect was an estimated 30 million people killed during the reign, affecting China the greatest, with the population falling in half within 50 years of the Mongol rule. Mongols are renowned for facilitating great cultural exchange and trade between the East, West, and Middle East. They also had a lasting impact, unifying large regions with parts of East and West Russia and West China still remaining unified today. The empire was under Khan until he died in 1227, splitting up his empire into khanates under his 4 sons, and his 3rd son was nominal supreme Khan. By the 1350s, the Khanate states fractured and lost organization of Khan, adopting different customs, establishing the end of the Mongol Empire. With Genghis Khan as their leader, he spent 21 years expanding their empire. He had innovations in military tactics. Historians say that he was one of the best military leaders in history. His tactics include fast transportation through the use of horses. Also, to throw off his opponents, he used false leads, fake retreats, and surprise attacks. Through expanding their empire, they had impacted the world in many ways. They used banking and paper money, which made trade easier and more efficient. Next, they had created peace throughout the conquered citizens. Lastly, they had spread numerous religions like Islam, Buddhism, and Christianity. This created a very diverse world.
The Mongols originated in Central Asia. At its height, the empire reached from here all the way to approximately here.
Welcome to the open letter. Oh look, it's Mulan! Mulan the movie was based on an actual Chinese legend called the Ballad of Mulan. It accounts that Mulan lived in the Wei dynasty. As the movie goes on, there's a scene with fireworks, which then indicates the Sui dynasty. At this time in China, Mandarin was the dominant language, but Disney used Cantonese, changing her name from Hua to Fa Mulan. Ah, I got me that one!
Fun fact! Every 1 out of 200 males in Eurasia may be descended from Khan.
The Mongol Empire, founded by Genghis Khan.
No. Okay, if we're doing this in like
Wait,
Hailey,
one
can't
more time, please, one more
it's
time.
gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird if she reads all this by herself.
And you're just sitting there.
True.